If you're up to date on NBA news, you probably already know that Eric Bledsoe got traded from the Suns to the Milwaukee Bucks a couple days ago. In today's video, we're going to talk about what this means for the Bucks and whether or not this makes them contenders. Let's get right into it. So, just to recap the trade, Eric Bledsoe got traded to the Bucks in exchange for Greg Monroe, a protected first-round pick, and a protected second-round pick. And in my opinion, this was a better deal for the Bucks than it was for the Suns, but the Suns also got some value out of this considering that Eric Bledsoe's value was pretty low because of the fact that he tweeted, "I don't want to be here," and the fact that he had requested a trade and they were looking to trade him already. They got some decent stuff considering his trade value. Moving on from the actual trade though, let's look at Eric Bledsoe as a player. So last season he was putting up all-star numbers, 21.1 points per game, 6.3 assists per game, 4.8 rebounds per game on 48% shooting. And if you look around the league, there are very few point guards putting up those type of numbers, and he was definitely snubbed from the all-star team considering the numbers that he was putting up. It was most likely because he plays for the Suns and they're absolutely terrible and not as big of a market as some of the other teams, but the point is that he deserved to be in the conversation for all-star game last year. He didn't make it, but he was definitely putting up that production. Another thing to look at with Eric Bledsoe is that he is in his physical prime at just 27 years old, and even though he is one of the oldest players on this Bucks roster because they are such a young team, he is still in his prime and will provide some much needed production at the point guard position. The Bucks have been looking for a solid point guard for the last year or two, and they actually got an all-star caliber point guard in the prime of his career for just Greg Monroe and a couple picks. So that is a great deal for the Bucks, and I'm excited to see what Eric Bledsoe can do for the next couple years considering that he's in his prime. The next thing that we need to look at is the new Milwaukee Bucks lineup now that Eric Bledsoe is on their team. So at point guard we have Eric Bledsoe, obviously. At shooting guard, we're moving Malcolm Brogdon from point guard to shooting guard. At small forward we have Chris Middleton. At power forward we have Giannis. And at center we have Thon Maker. Now once Jabari Parker comes back, I imagine that Chris Middleton will be moved to the bench, and he's obviously a great player, so he'll be a great player to bring off the bench, and Jabari can fill in that power forward position while Giannis moves down to the small forward. But as of right now, this is their lineup. With the addition of Eric Bledsoe and this new starting lineup, I definitely think that the Bucks are a lock for a top 5 seed in the East, barring injury of course, and possibly even a top 3 seed. Now, looking at the teams that I think that they can compete with, one of them is the Washington Wizards. I don't think that the Washington Wizards are as strong as, say, the Cavs, the Celtics, the Raptors, and now that the Bucks have Eric Bledsoe, I don't think that they're quite as strong as them either. So right now, I would take the Bucks in a 7-game series over the Wizards. Against the Raptors, I think that the Bucks could also push a 7-game series and possibly win now that they have Eric Bledsoe. So a series between the Raptors and the Bucks would be very interesting to me. I personally would be going for the Raptors because I'm a Raptors fan, but I definitely think that the Bucks could pull out a win in a 7-game series against the Toronto Raptors. The next team that we need to look at is the Boston Celtics. And because of Gordon Hayward's injury, I can't pick the Celtics over the Bucks. In a 7-game playoff series, I would take the Milwaukee Bucks. If Gordon Hayward were healthy, that would be a different story. I think that I would probably take the Celtics just because of experience. But because of Gordon Hayward's injury and the fact that he is out for the season, as of right now, I would take the Milwaukee Bucks. The last team that we are going to look at on this list, and the only team that I think that the Bucks definitely won't beat, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, even though the Cleveland Cavaliers have gotten off to a shaky start this season, they still have LeBron James, the best player in the world, and they have one of the best benches, if not the best bench in the NBA, in my opinion. And once Isaiah Thomas comes back, and if Kevin Love plays good, he keeps up the production that he's been putting up, because he's been putting up pretty good numbers. Once Isaiah Thomas comes back, I don't see anybody in the Eastern Conference challenging the Cavs. I think that as of right now, I would take the Cavs in 6 games over the Milwaukee Bucks, but this remains to be seen. once Isaiah Thomas comes back, if he's not fully healthy, if he's not his old self, this could change. If the Milwaukee Bucks end up looking very dominant once Eric Bledsoe comes, my mind could change. But as of right now, because of what we know, I think that the Bucks would have a shot to beat everyone in the Eastern Conference except the Cavs. I still think that the Bucks are a few years of experience away or another star away from beating the Cavs. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section down below on whether or not you think the Milwaukee Bucks are Eastern Conference contenders and even title contenders if you want to go that far. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on my next. Thanks.